This is a big moment too for this is a really big moment for I like this dress. You're gonna probably see me wear this dress quite a bit. I like this dress. But this is where you're gonna see me more obvious and scary than you probably want to. When you're the United States that did this, or participated, or knew that they were doing it. When you're the United States that really wanted to uphold what is good and right, and you just always realized everybody's in on it, way to go. You guys win the gold, the glory. You guys could easily be flying with God soon one day and working above the United States to get people out and stuff. But everybody else, this gets pretty scary. So I'm just going to tell you something that I already did that made the United States get terrified and freaked out, but they didn't know for sure. And now they're going to know for sure. I was driving, and I was driving pretty massive. So I was driving where you have to drive like 50 miles an hour or more. So I was driving where you have to stay at 50 miles an hour or more for like 5 or 10 minutes. And Michael Patterson's wife and Joanna were sitting with the United States in Dubai, trying to pop a certain piece of the engine that destroys the car from the inside, while they make it look like it was just an accident and the car is just falling apart. Which you could easily ask City Auto, and there's no way the car would have fallen apart this easy, because it was just fine, like barely the second oil change back. So if you analyzed what they're doing to the car, it wouldn't have normally had any wear or tear or braking like that anyway. So most good people in the United States would already know somebody's been fucking with this car and fucked with every car, and most would know. Well, they were doing stuff to pop the car from the inside. So they put technology, they somehow laced technology without anybody knowing it. And they can use technology to kind of push and pull certain nuts and bolts or pieces of the engine until they kind of pop and break. And they've gotten it to a system of breaking a car like it's nothing, no matter how expensive it was or whatever. And it looks like an accident if you don't really dissect that there's no way it could exist. But you'd have to dissect it to know there's no way it could have existed. Otherwise, it does always look like wear and tear. They're using the technology to move nuts and bolts and stuff till it looks like the nut and bolt type reality just kept moving and got loose and broke, and everything broke off. So they've learned how to just make things look like a billion things. But if you pay attention, normal wear and tear wouldn't be just automatically doing that until it busts. So if you pay attention, you know that very bad things have been doing very bad things. But if you don't pay good attention, it would look like an accident. Well, so the United States and Dubai with Michael Patterson's wife, Joanna, were fucking with the engine. Fucking with the engine. All of a sudden, somebody in the good United States, or somebody good from the United States, noticed that they keep fucking with the engine right here, but somebody keeps bursting the engine right here. So they kept fucking with the engine, but it wasn't breaking. And something kept bursting a piece of the engine. And then all of a sudden, the United States wasn't winning with what they were doing, but this burst was completely artificially fixed like it was nothing. I understand, good United States, that this is scary because these people are very criminal and very bad. And it brings a lot of really scary bad things upon a very, very used to be something to God kind of country. And it's very devastating for actual good government that would have wanted to have a good relationship with God to realize that all is lost because the country wanted to murder a God and more and worse and not ever have anything good. And it's a scary feeling. Like drowning, you realize there is no good relationship with God, and it's very scary. Sadly, I don't have a good way to make that better. I'm just trying to tell you, as good government, that I understand life is scary. And I'm trying to help you guys to see clearly that that's what I did. I broke and then fixed the engine because I was getting pissed off that nobody, humans, were sitting around trying to mass devastate poverty and shit financially and create that much mass devastation of financial poverty. You know, when you're breaking my car and I'm already poor, you're creating the devastation of poverty. Like, everything you do in a God's direction, you are creating into the future. It was just pissing me off to no end until I'd rupture and break my own engine. I was so pissed off. But I have to be in control. I need the car. So I bursted a section of the engine and put it back together with my powers, knowing that I have to keep my structure, I have to keep my control. This is part of a very big fight. It leads to very much death forever, but you have to end the fight. So I get it, good United States. I'm a very powerful, scary thing that you can tell hides. I've been dead and worse at their hands, and I'm very hostile. And whatever passive aggressive I've ever had, it's all gone and is sitting on very enraged death overload. And you can tell, yes, good United States, very, very bad things have been happening against my death and other victim death for a very, very, very long time, which makes this a very hostile, very bad situation. But there's always good news because you're the good government. I suggest you send one person to the island of gods. You only need one, man. You just need one that walks with God's really, really massive and strong. Because good people can get through this. Why? Because God did it the hard way so that good people don't have to. So you guys don't have to be as afraid as you guys are. But you might still be if you don't go to the island of gods to feel a little more calm. When you go to the island of gods, you realize that life's all about you guys. When you guys go to the island of gods, you realize life will always be about you guys. When you go to the island of gods, you feel that feeling that God rots in death and worse because the little good boy and the little good girl are everything. When you go to the island of gods, no matter what you see me do over here, you'll know that you're the good kids and it just doesn't pertain to you and you only live in the good side of life. You're the good kids. But yeah, if you don't go to the island of gods, this gets really knocked down, dead knocked down, busting heads to death beyond death, busting heads within death you cannot fathom. Their crimes are so sickening, the punishments are so horrifying, that it really makes the fact that I'm very mysterious and powerful very scary, and too scary for good people, or too scary for the overly naive. So it would be good if you at least send one big time badass to the island of gods. That will keep at least one hardcore giant, very spoiled, well educated, to be more of like a commanding officer in the name of angels or something, to keep people more calm and less freaked out that life is very, God is here, overwhelming, and God has been murdered and more scary.